Okay, so I want to build on the idea we just finished talking about functions. So we've got our function set up. Lowercase s. And let's say we had a function called draw lines that we wanted to call, and it was going to draw parallel lines. So far, so good. So how would we do parallel lines? First off, let's create our function. So this is our function definition. Nope, open curly brace, close curly brace. So call function. Define function. All right, so let's say I wanted parallel lines, so something like this. How would we do that? So I'm gonna be lazy and I'm gonna put them, there we go. Here's my parallel lines. So I might have one function that was line, and I'm gonna do the XY coordinates of this point. So I'm gonna call this 50 in the X and 100 in the Y. And then this one, I'm going down and over. So again, here's my 50, comma 100, X1, Y1. And I'm going to do X2, Y2. So I'm going to go down and over. So I'm going to the right. So I'll call this maybe 110. And I'll call this one, we're going down, maybe 170. Something like that, okay? So then my second one would be 110, comma 170. Not so bad, right? Now, I'm going to do my second line. And I'm just going to do this one myself. I'm going to put it 30 to the right. So these two would make a pair of parallel lines. So if I write them over here in my line function, not so bad, right? Now, how did I make perfectly parallel lines? What did I just do? This is actually 80, not 30. Sorry. All I did is by taking the x's, this x, I moved it 30 to the right. So this point is at the same y up down, but I moved it 30 to the right. And this point of my second line is again 30 to the right of this line, but the same up down. So I just did this line, I drew this line exactly the same, only 30 to the right of this line. And that's how I got those coordinates so quickly to make parallel lines. Not so bad, right? Now, let's say I wanted to do multiple sets. Let's say I wanted to set here, and then I wanted the same set of lines over here, and another set over here. I could write a function for that, right? Which I did. I have a function, but now I've got to give it parameters in order to make it so that I can draw multiples no matter where I want on the screen. So if I do, or on the canvas, the X position, Y position. Now, how do I do this? So when I did a circle, it was easy because there was only one coordinate to reference. That was the center of the circle. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 coordinates to reference, right? When we draw a circle or an ellipse, we always reference the center point of the circle of the ellipse. That's how it works. If we do a rectangle, the XY coordinate is this top left corner, right? So we just have to decide when we're doing our function, our new function, what the reference point is going to be. So because for a circle or an ellipse, it's the center, and for a rectangle, it's the top left corner. Those are slightly arbitrary. And so I'm going to arbitrarily pick a point. I'm going to pick this point as my reference point. So far, so good. So when I draw it and I say 5100, it's going to draw exactly this set of parallel lines. And if I say draw this one, it's going to look at this point here, and it's going to draw this same set of parallel lines over here. And if I draw this one, it's going to look at this point, and it's going to draw the same set of parallel lines over here. So far, so good. So to do that, I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to think about with these numbers. So keep these numbers in your head, 50 and 100. So far, so good. And I'm going to change 50 to be xpos. And I'm going to change the 100 here to be ypos. Now, if I just change these two, 50 and 100, 50 and 100 now if I just change these two, This point will move wherever I want it to be, but these other 3 points will still stay fixed in the same location. So I have to reference all 3 of these extra points to this one point. You with me? So just like to get from here to here, I just added 30, right? I'm going to do the same thing. To get from here to here, I'm going to add 30. So this line was this point plus 30. So I'm going to remove the 80, and I'm going to write x pos plus 30. Now, these 2 points, this point will always be exactly 30 to the right of this one. Not so bad, right? And we knew that this one had the same y position, because 100, right? That's at 100, and this is 100. So we know y pos is 100 right now. I'm going to go up here and put these numbers in. So this one becomes 100. So y pos, right? Since this point and this point have the same y, they both have y pos. So far, so good. Now to get from here over to here, I have to go down and over, right? How far did I have to go down from here to here to get from 100 to 170? This is 70 away, right? And it's down, so that's a positive 70, right? If it had gone up, it would be a negative 70 because up is getting smaller. To get from, again, from here to here, I had to go to the right. How far to the right did I go to get from here to here? Well, I went from 50 to 110. So how much do I have to add to 50 to get to 110? I need to add 60. So instead of these numbers, what I'm going to write is and now this line will be reproduced no matter what I change these to do. It'll be the exact same angle, the exact same way. Now I just got to do these last 2 points. Again, I'm going to erase this for a second. To get from here, again, we're referencing, it's always right referencing this point to this line. I have to go how far over and how far down. And I'm going to the right and I'm going down. So again, both numbers will be positive because I'm adding. So to get from 50 to, I'm going to get these out of the way so we can see what we're doing. We're going to 140, 170. So to get from 50 to 140, how much do I have to add to 50 to get to 140? I got to add 90. And then to get from 100 to 170, how much do I have to add? I have to add 70. So if I change these now to x pos, which is this, plus 90, that'll get me all the way to the right that I need to go. And then y pos, which is this point, plus 70, that'll get me down far enough to get to that point. So now I can call this function multiple times and I can end up drawing that same set of parallel lines no matter where I want on the screen. And so pretty cool. Now think about this in terms of your Kandinsky. You could take any of those elements that you had multiples of and you could create a function for each of those. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to take that fish that we drew earlier, where we drew 3 fish, and I want you to write a function for drawing that fish. You may have to draw it out on paper and figure out how this stuff lays out, but I want you to draw a function with parameters for drawing that fish so that you can draw that fish no matter where you want on the screen. You with me? You're going to draw that fish. So you started with 3 fish, but now I want you to be able to draw as many fish as we can on the screen. That's your task for now. Go.